Hey, just wanted to come on and say before this video begins, a lot of this is my opinion, although I'm reading what's in front of me. But the weaponizing of food is happening, whether you believe it or not. Is every situation the case? Maybe not. But some things are a little too obvious to just let go of. And I forgot to add in this video the farmers who are having to do different things. And I'm watching what I say because they are monitoring everything nowadays. But we all know fertilizer prices have gone up, as well as feed prices. A lot of farmers have decided not to raise certain animals because of feed prices. A lot of farmers are having to not plant certain crops because it takes more water for that crop, and we're dealing with potential drought, and a lot of farmers are being asked to not grow certain things. And you trying to tell me that people are not interfering where they shouldn't be. This is their livelihood. This is what they've done for years. They know when, they know how to do things. So if they're not doing it, and some of them are being paid to not do it, and some of them, that pay is not going to really make up for what they lost in not growing. So you guys, grow a garden, get your food preps up. Things are happening behind the scene that we have no idea about. We can only assume. It's just too much going on, from baby food to recalls to plant fires, droughts. All of that stuff goes together. I know you say probably droughts. Well, child, droughts, that ain't man stuff. You'd be surprised what goes on in these meetings that we know nothing about. And they could take the smallest thing and turn it into something major. That's why we're having so many issues today, whether it's here in the United States or globally. We are experiencing food insecurity. This is serious, okay? So please go out before all the panic begins, because by the end of this year, you're going to start to see it. Yeah, you see grocery stores looking like they're full now. That's because those are the items they're getting from those ships that are finally starting to be unloaded. But what happens when all that shipment that came in, all those deliveries are gone by the end of this year? You're not going to be seeing a lot more, okay? Shanghai is just now starting to open back up June 1st, hopefully. And they're already backed up. And it's going to take even longer for those items to come in. So prepare today. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time you are watching this. So I'm going to try not to keep you guys too long today, because I know you have a lot of preparing to do, or just whatever you're doing today. You don't have time to be sitting and listening to me all day long. So I started working on this video last night, and it got late, and I said I will put it together today for you guys. You see the title, and once I got up this morning, the title really did fit, because there were recalls that have been made since yesterday, I guess, or that I'm finding out. So we're going to start off with the baby formula. I don't have anything in front of me on this computer, but I do have a video coming out where I'm giving my thoughts on what I feel could be behind the whole baby food shortage situation. Why did it last so long? And I'm actually asking you guys what you think is behind it. It's just weird. It's just really weird that you can see a crisis coming and you can be in the middle of it or at the beginning of it and not say, well, let us enact this, let us do that, and let's get what we need for the babies. And then all of a sudden, a little time goes by and then you can do it. And all is well. And congratulations and kudos to you. Those things are happening. So check that video out when it does come out. Moving on, scratch that off our list. Moving on, we're going to talk about wheat. Let me find my story. Originally, this was going to be the only story that I did. And I said, you know what? We're going to combine some stories today in a video and give the people as much as I can possibly give you without going over a certain amount of time. Oh, no glasses, bear with me today. The title is World Has 10 Weeks Supply of Wheat. And that's from the experts at the UN Security Council. Let that sink in. So we all know where this is going, and it's going to the Russian-Ukraine war. And I will be mindful of some things that I do say, because I did see a story on the news where they were talking about, because of the shooting that happened at the grocery store, and y'all be safe out there. They were looking into diving into our social media and everything. And I'm all good for if you can stop something before it happens, because that was a tragic situation that happened. Racist, whether you believe it or not, it was, okay? But I'm not for just using one situation to then tap into everybody's social media stuff. So, anywho, it says, global food insecurity has reached levels not seen since the financial crisis of 2008, and is only going to get worse without aggressive intervention. A food insecurity expert told the United Nations Security Council this week. So, they saying it'll get more aggressive without, well, it'll get worse without more aggressive intervention. It kind of feels like somebody's been intervening and causing some of these situations to happen. So it also goes on to say that Russia's invasion of Ukraine did not start a food security crisis, but it did add fuel to the fire that was long burning. And we all know about Russia and Ukraine and supplying wheat and how much wheat they supplied. And, you know, now that's not being delivered because of the war. And it's putting a strain on the world. Global food shortage. So Russia's claiming one thing, that the sanctions is the reason why. And then the U.S. Secretary of State, Anthony Blinken, is saying, those claims are false. So it to me, it don't even matter. It's happening. You know, everybody wants to do this and this and this. It's happening. Okay. Now what? What do we do now? So I'm not going to get deep into that story, but it is causing issues, and the issues are in Sri Lanka as well. Lack of fertilizer, you guys. Let's talk fertilizer for a minute. Fertilizer prices have nearly tripled over the past year and quadrupled over the past 2 years. Not that they needed to tell us that. A lot of people who use fertilizer already know that. The fertilizer shortage could reduce crop yields for bigger suppliers like the United States, Brazil, Western Europe later this year and into next year. Did you hear that? Later this year and into next year. That next year thing, which means food shortage is going to be going on for a while, you guys. Unfortunately. So this is going to severely impact global food security and inflation for 3 to 5 years at a minimum. Let's back that up, okay? Not the fact that we are dealing with the shortage, and it'll be over soon. What is soon to them? Because this article is stating that it's going to cause this inflation and food insecurity for 3 to 5 years. We're in 2022. So 2025, maybe 2026. Because this year's, almost halfway in. Then we got climate change. We got global drought conditions that are worsening. You have cooking oil shortages. The price of palm oil has nearly tripled in the last 2 years. The world has lost 75% of sunflower oil exports to the war in Ukraine. China has also increased the amount of cooking oil it imports. The grain shortage, Russia and Ukraine accounted for a third of the world's wheat export before the conflict began. Now the world is seeing record low grain levels on top of fertilizer shortages, supply chain issues, and drought. And let's not forget the supply chain, okay? We got issues with that was created by the pandemic that they're saying. This is them speaking. And it has made it worse by the Russia-Ukraine war. All Ukrainian ports remain closed, making it impossible to move any of Ukraine's harvested grains across its borders. They're calling it a once-in-a-generation occurrence that can dramatically reshape the geopolitical era. Moving on, scratch that off. Bird flu. So millions of birds have been culled. We all know this by now. A lot of people have reported on it. The news finally started reporting on it. And my title fits. I feel like people are weaponizing food. Because if you control food, you control people, because we can't live without it. And so maybe we'll fall in line and do whatever we have to do to make sure our family is fed. Hence, please continue to prep. Please continue to provide what you can for your family medically. I'm not going to get deep into that story. So now we have fires at processing plants. Fires at the processing plants. We have had so many fires. Oh my God. Whether it's potatoes, whether it's sodas. I mean, it's just so random. It's just so random that all of these fires, when we're only 6 months into the year, when they only get maybe 3 to 4. I've covered those stories, so I won't go deep into those stories. Now, this one, we will dig into it a little bit, because this is the one that I woke up to, and it is the recall. Which one do I do first? Let's start with bacon, because, a girl loves some bacon, okay? So the food safety news, where I got this from, if you're interested, you can go look that up. 90 tons of bacon topping recalled because of metal pieces or shavings, whatever you want to call them. This is at the Smithfield Packaged Meat Corp in Iowa. Let's see, how much are they recalling? They are recalling 185,610 pounds of ready-to-eat bacon toppings product. So I love a good ready-to-eat, because it don't take much time for that, babe. But they are recalling those things. I'm sorry, my son was having a nice old time with his music in there, and it's 8:56 in the morning. I'm like, when do I get to record? Okay, so let's go over what's recalled. We're not gonna go over. This item was produced on various dates between February 21st to February 23rd and March 3rd to March 5th. Those are the items that are being recalled. I will leave this link in there. I'm not going to go through everything. I'm going to leave this link in the description box because I really don't want this to be a long video. And with editing, it won't be. The next recall is Jif peanut butter. Yep, I said it. So the second recall is now the Jif peanut butter. And this is due to, you guessed it. And if you haven't, I'll give you 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Salmonella. Yep. What is going on at these plants? And how many people had an issue with this is concerning that they would recall so many things. I mean, I'm glad that they're on stuff, but shouldn't it be more than one person? So it is the Jif peanut butter by the Smucker Company. They did a voluntary recall. This was made in Lexington, Kentucky. So on the bacon, it was one person. On the Jif, it was 5 out of 5 people consuming peanut butter, and 4 of the 5 people reported consuming different varieties of Jif brand peanut butter prior to becoming ill. So hence, the Smucker Company decided they would do a recall on the peanut butters. I just want to know what's next. Jelly? Because we already we already got things going with the bread. The wheat. That's your bread right there, right? Everybody talking about bread basket. Now we got peanut butter. We can't even make a sandwich today in 2022. Because you got bacon. That's a sandwich. What else we got? I'm not being funny, but I'm being funny. We got bacon. Let's do our sandwiches. So we got pork recalls, right, with the bacon. What's next? Bologna, which I don't really eat that anymore, but it's good. We have wheat. It's not being recalled, but we're having issues with it. We're having food shortages because of it, and we're going to have even more food shortages by the end of this year. By the end of this year, it's going to hit the fan. So if you're not preparing, I don't know what you're waiting for. I mean, what is that line? If they cross this line, then I'm going to start. What is that line for a lot of people? And everybody has one. You just got to figure out what that line is for you if you're not already preparing. So we did peanut butter. We got them off of our list. Okay, got that. I think that covers everything I want to cover because I didn't want to get deep into any of the stories, but I wanted to bring you the stories. Because I almost feel like I should change the name of my channel, honestly, to Tommy Bites Prepping, because it seems like I'm doing more stories than anything else. And grocery store walkthroughs and that. And I love doing it. I really, really do. But these people, we have to be mindful of what we say, you guys. And some people, whatever, I'm going to throw it to the wind. But I love my channel and I want to keep my channel. So I will bring you the stories, and I won't take anything out of the stories to lighten my stories up. I will bring you what I see. But I am not able to do every story that is sent to me. And I appreciate each of you for sending me things. I have done some of them. Some I have not gotten to, either because I can't find enough evidence with it to make sure it is a story that I should do. But yeah, y'all stay safe, keep prepping. Remember those 3 P's: pray, plan, prep, and don't just, don't just wait for the worst to happen before you start, because by then it'll be too late. So when always note, when they start talking about stuff in the news, like, this is YouTube, but if they start talking about stuff in the news, then it's already past like 5 lines that have been crossed before they bring it to you. And that will probably be a little too late, because the shortages are not just happening here in the United States, they're happening around the world. People are struggling to eat. Literally having food riots in the street. Yes, Sri Lanka is suffering. They now have medications that have been sent to them via India, but they need food, they need water, they need those things to live, whether it's living comfortably or not. They need those things to survive. I pray to God that we don't get to that point. We have a lot of things here in the United States. We have the ability to go get it. Not everybody, of course. A lot of people are struggling to make ends meet. We have high price of diesel, which has to deliver these things, right? We have truckers who will end up not driving because they can't afford to drive, especially the ones where it's coming directly out of their pockets, if they didn't have some kind of backup plan for this type of situation. We have companies that are going to cut back on how much stuff they send because of how costly freight will be. Because if diesel prices are continuing to go up, that means the price to deliver them will go up, and the companies will have to pay more to get those products on the shelves. Okay, and if people start rioting in the streets, like, for food or whatever they need, medications, like they are in other countries, then some companies will not send their trucks to those locations, period. Just like when they, way back in the Rodney King, and they had all those riots going on, right? And after that truck driver got severely beaten for just being who he was, companies stopped sending stuff to neighborhoods. And for one, they couldn't really send anything because a lot of stores got burned down, looted. They're not sending drivers in there, and drivers aren't going. At the end of the day, they can say no. And when a lot of them start saying no, and fuel prices continue to go up, we will be in a world of hurt. We will be in a world of angry people, because you ever felt hangry? Put hangry times, whatever number you want to put it behind, million. That is scary to think about. That is a apocalypse type World War Z situation, because people gonna be acting just like zombies. They want to feed their family. Okay, so y'all be safe out here. Crime has already gone up. Theft has gone up. Stores will be closing because of theft, whether it's closing early so that their employees are safe when they leave, and not having to leave at night, so they will close early or they will close down altogether. So please, I encourage you to get as much food as you possibly can. Continue to rotate through your food. Once you do, know how you're going to store your food first and foremost. Write down everything that you eat and just start getting it little by little. And little by little, it'll all add up. That's what I did. I didn't just run out and grab everything. I can't afford that. And when I could, I did. But there you go. This video is getting really long and I have to go to Charlotte. So I will see y'all in the next video. Have a great week and take care. Love you guys. But God loves you more.